Hello, everybody. Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I'm Hyper G with lucky sixes.
Whatcha? How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, and it has to go up this tournament because last
Mm.
round was down.
Yeah, we were quite far down. Yeah, not the best performance, but looking to power on and wait till that submarine kicks in, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're mid the team tournament,
Yeah,
which
always for me the hardest battle, round three of day one. That is the hard.
when
That's
you're
for me.
knackered. Yeah, yeah.
Concentration
Okay.
levels. Yeah,
Mhm.
you've only had 10 minutes to in between the last thing.
Oh
10:50,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But thankfully for me,
Is this first picture going to be mid round one, mid turn
yeah, it
one?
may be, it may be. Yeah, we'll
Usually
see.
is.
But thankfully, but like I said, thankfully for me, I was paired up against Matt Wilson's Highborn
Oh,
Elves. So
superb!
he was an
That's
absolute
amazing.
gent and a
Yeah,
scholar. And it was
love that.
actually for round three. It was a crazy game. This is like a spoiler to the game.
Oh,
It was
okay.
I so much happened, but I won't spoil it too much. It was a great game, in person and
And
in
you got to
tactics wise.
slay warrior. You got to slay Highborn elves. I mean,
And well,
that's
yeah,
great.
reluctantly. Oh, sorry. Like that.
No, it's oh, kill, kill,
Um,
kill. Yes.
but yes, so let's take a look at the lists. Of course, mine is the Helmore list, which I'm thanking by the way, thanks very much for everyone that's put in their tactics about the
Mm,
Helmore and asking me about questions on YouTube. It's really cool.
yeah, really good.
I confess to not knowing too much about the Helmore, and there's definitely been in the last few battles like ways that I could have um, more efficiently used it. Not necessarily I've used it bad, but just used it better. And some of the conversations and comments have been really good. So keep that up, guys. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I think Helmore's good enough to stay after this tournament.
Oh,
In some
oh.
sort of
Okay.
form. So we will see.
Yeah.
But I want to
Well,
use it better.
the main thing is that you enjoy using it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if it was a bit of a, it's complicated enough, but if you can
Mm.
enjoy it, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, and I think it adds enough to Warriors. I don't necessarily think my list is the most. Like, it's not catered to the Helmore. It's the Helmore's just added in. So
Yeah.
like having a few like more MSU warrior unit bricks would be nice. Excuse me. But anyway, regardless, keep the comments coming because I think this is a work in progress.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise, Exalted Herald is very cool. Chosen Lord in the Sloth Brick, 10 Chosen with great weapons, 4 Chosen Knights, a Chosen Chariot, and some chaff. Very, very small army.
Mm.
On the contrary, quite a similarly small army, actually.
You call both factions elite factions,
Yeah,
don't you? Really?
yeah. I guess they've got the 41 spear unit, Legion Standard, so they
I bet
are.
you love that unit.
That is the numbers game.
Hmm.
But probably one of the obviously two dragons, one of which is an ancient, one of which is a regal. You got the pyro, Order of Fiery Heart, paired weapon dragon, which I just love. You'll see the models in a minute; they're even better than the thought. He's got a BSB commander as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a phoenix to round off. I think it's 5 flying models. Uh, well, yeah. Anyway, pretty good.
At
And
least four.
then and then the big one, which I really like, and I told him I just want to be so good, is the 10 Knights of Rhyma
Hmm.
unit. So stalkers as well, so it keeps them alive because they're so expensive.
Yeah, you
Um,
played that unit for like 5 years, and then you started playing other people than me.
they're
So,
good on paper. They're
yeah.
really good, but
Uh-huh.
but they are paper. They're surprising. So, but yeah,
Uh,
yeah, really loved the list. Loved to look at it and excited to play it. We
Matt's
played.
painting is amazing, isn't it? I'm
You
looking forward to
yeah,
seeing what
we'll
this is
see.
going to
Let's
look
see how
like.
excited I
Yeah.
got in this.
Mm.
It was a fairly standard hold the center and counter thrust
Okay.
sort of scenario, so there wasn't any jank to that.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the round, again,
Okay.
fairly tentative on the thing, but we'll say that they paired for me. So I was paired for
Oh,
this
okay.
time, kind of.
Right. It's your turn.
Only in the fact that when it came up, it was Matt or someone else. I can't even remember who. And I always went, well, let's go for. I know High
I can,
Elves. I'll
yeah.
take the High Elves, and I think overall it's not a terrible matchup because I have such good magic, but
Hmm.
High Elves obviously have decent magic back, so it's a very interesting one.
It looks like you paired
Overall,
up pretty
though,
well here because there's no reds there.
no reds, but there's no other greens or anything, and
True.
so there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on me to bring home some points. Otherwise, we are going down big. Really, you'd expect.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
was a different style of it this time, and thankfully I wasn't too
Oh,
excited or tired, and we've got some pictures. Although, like I said to him at the time, the pictures still don't do it justice of how good an
yeah.
army is. So
Wow.
some lovely models in there, very sea themed, and yeah, amazing.
Mm, beautiful.
Yeah, that's the
Sweet.
Phoenix as well. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
So
cool.
over to me, and I was Brand of the Dragon, Sorcerer Mortal, one I've chosen before because he doesn't have abundance of shooting. The Grey
Hmm.
Watchers are there, but they're not really for their shooting. So I kind of the -1 to hit largely irrelevant, and I wanted to fly. Breath attack's always good against elves as well. So
Yeah.
and this was our deployment, and yeah, so he's got his ancient dragon and regal dragon on that left side with some bows behind. He's got some silver helms in the middle with some highborn lancers. Is that what they're called? I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
remember. So it's
Lances.
lancers with a BSB behind that. So it's three big characters on that side. Some Grey Watchers, some Reavers, a big unit of spears on the hill, Knights of Rhymer not caring about the ruins in front of them, and the Phoenix on that side. So yeah,
You know all
from
about
my
Grey
point of view,
Watchers, don't you?
I do, I really like them. They're not for the shooting; they're for the -1 to hit. So do need to bear
Mm.
that in mind if I go into any combats and things because it could turn the tide. Um, Herald for me is way out on the left. I think I put down first and he put down because putting a cross of two ancient dragon things is not a thing. But as
Mm.
you can see, this isn't the top deployment. This is turn one movement as well. So I did get
Oh,
excited.
really? I hadn't noticed.
Um, and I just moved forward. Hold in the centre. You've got that left, the green Helmore ping on that left side,
Hmm.
and I've put him sort of diagonal across. Kind of my tactic for most of my games actually. Gives me nice board space. And yeah, everything moved forward apart from the dogs who moved as far away from the shooting as possible because I want
Biding their
them for
time.
later. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. We go on to
Breath of
magic,
Corruption?
and it's quick lash on his lancers. I got
Oh,
4 out of 4,
gosh.
smashed them up
Wow.
today.
That's
Although
great.
this might be breath corruption as well. Oh yeah, there you go.
Mm.
To ping them off,
Finish them off.
which is really nice. It's a scoring unit. They're quite
Yeah.
mobile as well. I didn't think they'd do too much in terms of damage, but in terms of that scoring for that central objective that you can see there, just next to that green dice, yeah, quite important from that point of view. And it's points at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
fairly happy with that. Over to his turn, and he chaffed all 3 of my middle units, which is fair enough with his
Mm.
Reavers.
Mm.
His characters come out to this left side. No respect whatsoever for that Herald. I mean, if that wasn't a show of force of how he's not really a combat unit, but he pays for it, then I don't know what is. Because even the
Oh,
wizard
points to
doesn't
Matt
care.
for that.
Even the
Yeah.
wizard doesn't care. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I guess I shouldn't go in there.
And yeah, two of those, well, one of those models is definitely worth less than an EH, but
Yeah, well,
doesn't care.
the wizard dragon's actually fairly close to points. But yeah,
Sure.
it is.
Mm.
He gets a pyro flow, which I let off to stop everything else.
Okay. And you were just
And
hoping not to see a 12 strength
yeah,
4
bows. Yeah,
hit.
that but it kills a few of them. It kills some more of these guys off with shooting. I think this might even be bow of Elu if he's got it. I'm not even sure. And onto my turn. And the Warriors unit, I charged the Fallen into the Reavers, thinking they'll just,
of course,
they'll get them quite nice and easy. But it meant that you can see that sort of square cross in the middle. That's where the Warriors were, and it kind of meant that I couldn't reform or swift reform to face that way. So I had to, in the ranks that I was, so I had to go 5 wide to face that way, and then move 2 inches to the side. So I didn't really gain much ground, but I'm still next to the center, and I've got. The same thing happens. He comes in and I challenge, basically.
The spear elves haven't got Banner of Rhymer, have they?
No, they haven't. Legion standard.
Okay.
So they are.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So
not 3.
Not a blank threat.
Yeah. I mean, it always is in terms of combat res, but it's. I think it's a long one anyway.
Well, your Lord's on that side too. So
Lord's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got options if he does. Otherwise, my Herald.
You fancy putting your Chosen in as well, just to make sure the Reavers were killed off?
No, I don't mind buying my time. And also, if I go do that, then I'm literally giving them to the Rhymer Knights. That's
of course, because Rhymer would be what, agility 6 on the charge?
Yeah, before me.
Or 7, or is it 7 on the charge?
7 on the charge, so they're
before you either way. Yeah.
So the only way I can go at the same time as them is if I charge them, and if I charge them, it's a game over anyway. But they're moving at 9 as opposed to my 5. They've got Swift Stride, as I haven't.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I didn't actually want to go any closer, so this is the end of my turn movement, and I'm kind of zoning that side, making sure his Phoenix can't get behind me and just be annoying more than anything.
Oh, those knights have had that job all tournament so far, haven't they?
Yeah.
The zoning job.
Absolutely. And the Herald just comes out of line of sight of the 2 dragons as well, going, okay, well, if you're not going to charge me, I might get in your flank or something.
I thought you might have stood him in front of both of them.
I did think about going...
Come on, then.
Yeah, I did think about going into the... Well, I can't chap them, can I? But
no, but you could have said, this is the disrespect you show me. So
yeah.
I'm going to stand here. You come and get me then.
I thought long and hard about charging his wizard, because I was like, it's just the dragon. It's only 6.
Trust in the ages, mate. Trust in the ages.
And I was like, just thinking. I was just like, but I won't. So I didn't.
Well, the problem is, if you don't kill that wizard in one turn, which you're probably not going to, then the ancient dragon probably comes in and rips you a new one.
Yeah. Well, I guess the good thing is I could challenge the wizard. And then if he comes in, it's only get flanking it. But it's still combat. Plus 2 combat res is still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm only strength 5 as well. I don't know. I was just like, he's done it for a reason. He plays warriors as well. He does play warriors, so it's not like he doesn't know what things do. So I was like, he must have played this out before. But anyway, I get quick lash off on his dragon and do. I think it's only 1 wound though. This time round, but it'll do. The Fallen go in and only do. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. I only do 2 wounds with all my attacks. To the Fallen. And a few like odd 6s as well that he saved, and I was like, okay, well, you mean you'll flee, and but he doesn't.
No.
I got charged flanked. I'm winning by 1, and he just holds, and I'm like, oh. That's an interesting one. I didn't see that coming.
I mean, on the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't matter too much because you'll kill him in his turn. You should kill him in his turn.
That is the case. However, it did leave this crazy flank charge, which wasn't much.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And then, obviously, if I go back 1, you can see where the flank charge might lead him. He needs a 6. And to those more astute of you will know that these are the dice, thankfully, that he rolled on Swift Stride. So he stumbles forward, thankfully for me, because I was like trying to be. Well, I don't know whether you should or not at the time, but oh my god, inside I was like, oh my god!
Yeah, flanking to the Chosen. That's not what they really want to. They don't want to have to spend a turn dying before they can turn around.
They certainly do not. certainly not. And stomps and stuff, they would have got wrecked. It would not have been pretty, and I was very, very
No.
lucky that he rolled terribly on his Swiftfire roll to go there. And he has opened up a flank, interestingly.
Okay.
This is the remainder
No.
of his moves, and he moves his dragon down here to face the flank of my warriors, and otherwise kind of is as tentative as I am after my first end movement. Just getting in position for things, and it keeps sort of edging on that as we're looking at it right side of his left flank with his Phoenix. He comes down and puts Favor and Melodist off. So
Nice.
yeah, is what it is. It's a good spell. We all know it. I continue to do 2 wounds. Do make him flee, but don't catch him by 1. And but it is my turn next, so there is that.
Yeah.
And on to my turn, I decide to go for it in terms of getting my chosen lord against his thing. I think we're going to be in a
You've forgotten
challenge.
to put your arrow out on the Herald. What's the Herald?
I
not going
know.
in?
Well, I thought, we're going to be in a challenge, aren't we? So there's no point wasting a dragon herald into the flag. But I do have the combat res of all the warriors, and then it'll just be who can win in the challenge, which is nice. Otherwise, the herald just turns that way to face the dragon, see if I can get some shots off on him. The other guys move up like so, quite aggressively on the right hand side, because I'm planning to use the wolves in magic. And as you can see in my last turn, there was some Hellmore portals put just in front of the Rhymer. So that's my plan.
Yeah. Okay.
My Fallen do not go into the Reavers. They instead chaff the spears from any count charges. And I come up with my chosen quite aggressively because I'm like, well, even if they do get in for some reason, I'm happy with that combat.
Sure.
My dogs in Magic get teleported to Suchley. And
what was the hole they went down? It's not like red.
The Hellmore is the hole, so he sucks you in and spits you out through. I think.
God, I'm so out of date with the Hellmore.
Yeah, you have to be 6 inches from the Hellmore.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
I'd missed that memo and all the battle reports we've been doing.
Basically, the big change there is you can't come back through the portals. You have to be within 6 inches of the Hellmore. So once they're there, arguably, unless my Hellmore moves up to within 6 of them, he then can't. They then can't teleport again. But we all know the dogs won't be there for long. I get Word of Iron and Rot of Battle, and of course my guy, my unit has flaming, and I pop alchemical fire, so that's going to be decent for the challenge. And I do. I think it was 3 wounds to him. I think he is. No, how many's he got? 7, 8, 7. I think I do 4 wounds to him, like incredibly. I don't take any wounds back. I make him flee automatically, but I only go so much, and he goes really far. But yeah, great start in terms of that regard.
Really good.
On my turn, I kind of forget that the dogs playing warriors after you play vampires is annoying for dogs. I'm going to say because
they ain't immune.
Terror and stuff definitely happens, and they're only leash at 5. And basically, my chaff game was off for this one. I was very, very happy. I was very happy at this point, and I was like, you know what? I think I've done it. I think I've got a big. And then this happened to free up the Knights of Rhymer, and I was all of a sudden quite scared of what the possibilities of my opponent could do on this side. Who ends up.
And the Phoenix. Oh, right, yeah.
Phoenix didn't choose to redirect, go into anything because he thought just in case the Rhymer fail, because he's just had a fail in the last game. But he goes against the Chariot to make sure of that, which is interesting. I guess the Chariot is helping out on the left side. I don't know, but that's what he chose to do, and he will be behind me without any counter charges. So. It's not a terrible move. He gets the dogs, of course. And goes in here, and that's not a good sight even for the tough nuts that is the chosen chariot. The Reaver rallies as well, and we kind of look like this, and so does the Ancient Dragon. But I did that in importance order.
Yeah, you expect that. Yeah. Yeah, the Reaver being first, of course.
Yeah, the mage on the dragon just moves out of line of sight, so we can't be charged, and that's where we are at in Highborn's turn 3 movement.
All to play for at the minute.
Yeah, he gets some spell. I think he heals, possibly, unless it's a fire. But he gets some spell on the Ancient Dragon and Favour Melodis off as well, so it's a decent magic phase. They go straight through that, and that's why he went for the chariot, because there was a nice janky overrun into their whole on my turn, which is just not gravy.
No,
it's not cricket.
No, that makes total sense now.
I charge here, and he sees that only a 6/6 will take him off the board, so he flees with his Ancient Dragon and is pretty comfortable. Or it's like a 7 or 8. I redirect into the archers, but it's not to be, because it's quite a long charge. I think I needed 14, so I needed a 10.
And you're being pulled away from the centre there, aren't you?
Being pulled away from the centre, but I don't mind.
I suppose the Chosen are sat on them.
I've kind of got the objective. I charge the Chosen here at this point as well into him, and he's like, yeah, I'll hold, just stop you going to anything else. Me thinking, well, I'm not going to charge my Fallen, going to move him out of the way, but hopefully I've got an overrun into his spears, which would be fine and dandy.
Yeah.
My Fallen do move. They move as far as they can this way, because obviously the Knights of Rhymer are going to be free at this point. I didn't take a picture of it as well, but my Chosen Knights also charge the Fire Phoenix, which is I think is good. I think they should do pretty well there. But my Fallen can basically come this way, basically to stop an easy pivot with the Knights, so that they're not going to go into my Chosen, because obviously they're the hardest thing. And I'm
to be honest, Fallen
overrun
might be able to do all right charging Rhymer. I mean, obviously the main purpose of that is to chaff the Rhymer. But
I don't think I'll
late game you could strip off a back rank of the Rhymer with the Fallen.
Yeah, if they don't charge me, then fine. But they'll get to pivot on my turn at the end of my turn and then charge me. So I'm expecting them just to be chaff. But I've not made it not easy to get into the Chosen if that's their given thought. But obviously they can pivot as well. So I was very limited with what I can actually do. Herald comes up here to go after the BSB. As well with magic and stuff, and to put a bit of pressure on him there. I go through the Fire Phoenix, but not without a fight. Fire Phoenix does some damage to me, but I do overrun a decent amount, and pretty much means that they're going to be out of Rhymer charge range, which is great.
Did he fail his Warden's Bond, or must have done?
Must have
he had
done.
it,
or if he had it, then he must have done. I don't remember it coming up.
It was written onto the list. So.
I obviously killed the Rhymer, the Reaver, sorry, and I think I needed a 6 and got that, so I was able to charge all the way over this way, which is wonderful for me from that point of view.
Go through that in 2 rounds of combat, I would have thought.
On the flip side, kills a Helmore, probably expected, especially with Supernal, although I do a couple of wounds, which is nice. End up there, and then he turns around and is going to charge them. There is a 11. If I go back a few, it's an 11 overrun, and that was the best I could do from there with my charge. So if he gets an 11, fine. But if not, they're kind of out of the game, and I'm pretty happy with where I am with everything. Over here, he rallies with both and moves like so, just to give me as long a thing from my infantry as possible. And this is his movement. Moves basically his Grey Watchers, BSB on the Eagle, which is now on the hill, and his Dragon around to surround my infantry units, which is fair enough. He's got such good movement, he can do that. He rolled pretty well. And again from quite a comfortable position, I would say. These Rhymer Knight of really stuck one to me, and it's
And
all the time that I've ever.
other question. The spears, because you charge them, are they higher agility than you?
Possibly, but I didn't mind before
Because the
this.
starter base are elves 4 or 5 at
Five,
base.
five base at
Yeah,
seven.
so +2, they go up to 7. So,
Yeah.
ooh,
That was largely irrelevant, if I'm
I mean,
honest. The
that
spears.
wasn't a problem if it was only chosen versus spears. You could have lost
Yeah.
one chosen beforehand, but
It's the
eesh.
what 10, 13, 14 attacks at strength 7, strength 6, AP3 that
Mhm.
come before me that I'm really worried about now. And I was like,
It's not ideal.
oh, well done. Crying and so
Oh,
many tears, and this is what it is. I do 3
yeah,
wounds back, but it's the
yeah.
damage is done, all the combat res is there, and oh
Hmm.
boy, I do go after the Rhymer even though they're slightly harder to kill, but just because I need them dead,
Yeah.
because they're still a pretty good. They've only lost 5 attacks.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
still pretty good at 5. That's what I like him. The Herald comes in and he has got fly in this one. It wasn't as long as I thought actually with this thing. I think he needed like a 9. So
Okay.
Matt fled.
Yeah. Why not? Why
And
not?
I redirect into the flank of these guys. 2. My warriors come
Yeah.
in for the center and to potentially go after the Rhymer in
Oh,
this
you're probably ahead on the center, aren't you? Having
revenge.
had two or
I am
three
ahead
turns of the chosen being there.
currently. I think I'm
Yeah.
1-0. I think I'm 1-0.
Mm. Yeah.
And yeah, and this is movement. Otherwise, my chosen knights basically come this way to help out the Herald in subsequent rounds. The last round, actually.
Hmm.
And we'll see what happens there. I get a quick clash, cheeky quick clash on these guys to make it a bit harder. Not quite below. I needed one more for the below 24%
Okay.
rallying, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's managed. They're manageable now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, bum
Oh.
bum bum, BSB goes down on the Herald through a massive grave calls,
Uh-huh.
which
I
I
hate that
can
the Graves Call
I
can
can do
do
it.
in combat. I hate
It's
that.
just crazy. It's not a missile, so I can do it.
No, no.
As long as something else isn't in combat. Baller.
So it's the number 6 spell in occultism, isn't it? Graves Call. Is it the best number 6 spell in the game?
I don't know. We're saying that now, but I'm sure there are other good ones. I think it's a
Oh,
really good
I
one in
know, but
combination
just
with.
if you only compare number 6s,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I know they're not definitely ranked. One is
Yeah.
worse than 6 because they're all subjective. But
I guess you
yeah,
got molten
anyway,
copper for
that's
another
a lot.
one. I don't know. It's a discussion in itself, really, but it's a
Well,
very
yeah,
good one.
absolutely.
It's a very good one,
Mm,
especially with the combination
I
of
think so.
Hellfire and
Mm,
um, Veil Walker and stuff.
mm,
So yeah, really, really good.
yeah.
I definitely diced him on that as well because I got Quick Flash off on like 2 or 3, and
Mm.
then it was 4v4. I didn't 5 dice. You think that's no.
Oh,
I go in, I do a bunch of wounds. It might even be a challenge actually, and then he turns to
yeah. It
reform.
looks like he's lost one, so
Yeah,
the
so
champion's dead. Mm,
is like so.
mhm.
And on to his turn. There are no charges, but he just gets in within 6 inches with both the Rhymer and the Warriors, hoping to.
Yeah, he went last, didn't he? So,
He went last. So he gains actually as long as
mm,
those spears
spares
survive,
don't break.
and
Mm,
that's So that's to draw it, and then we'll see what happens in the last turn.
yeah.
Over here, he also gets flaming swords off on him, and that's a bit scary, as well
Mm,
as Favor of Melodis. So Herald's likely not to do much this turn, although it does peel off a
yeah.
rank in a crazy way. I think he didn't have too many Veil tokens to actually stop
Yeah,
anything.
sure.
But does hold, draws the objective, and then it's onto my turn. And instead of going into the Brymonites, I decide to go into the flank of the spears to make sure of them. I'll at least draw. As you can see at the
Yeah.
top, he's chaffed my chosen knights as well. I'll at least
I
draw the
suppose the
objective.
Rhymer would have probably fled, wouldn't it? If you had a chance them first, and then you'd have had to redirect.
Yeah, arguably. Or he takes it and then definitely draws the objective. My hope here is that they actually panic,
Mm.
and stuff. And I've got grave calls as well, so that might help.
Said like a true Highborn Elf player, hoping that they panic. You know that Highborn Elves never panic.
Yeah. He stops grave calls, and I get Word of Iron and Glory of Gold off on my Herald, just to make sure that that's going to go my way. And this was an interesting one. It is my turn first. I kill these spears. They flee automatically because they're not steadfast anymore. I just do that many wounds. And what ends up happening, because I'm this wide and deep, I follow him. I choose them to flee away from the Herald.
Yeah.
And I, obviously, in the rules, the warriors pivot 90 degrees and go after.
Yeah.
I end up catching the spears with the Herald anyway, and then go into the Rhymer Knights
Wow.
as you can see there. So it was quite a nice
Cool,
way everything worked. And so as long as I didn't kill the spears outright, that was always kind of
he didn't kill 2 warriors. Yeah. If he killed 2 warriors, then you'd have run past them.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he attacked
well, actually,
the Herald.
arguably, because I'm pivoting, that would have been a lot closer, because you pivot, so I'd have been half an inch wide.
Well, are you not 4 deep? You're 5 deep at the minute, aren't you? So, I suppose I see what you're saying.
But you pivot, so I'm 5 wide. Yeah. But
you're right.
But
yeah,
arguably. But it so happens that also going into him, I'm in this flank, so I get even further this way, and I'm still within 6 inches of the thing. So it's he at the minute, but obviously we've got a turn of combat, and I'm pretty confident there, actually.
Those Rhymer are going to get some.
Yeah, he goes into my Herald with his dragon, with this long-awaited fight that has been tempted from round 1. And but he moves like so he's not planning on going into the flank of my warriors there. He does get favourite melodies to play my swords off, so that's a bit scary from the dragon point of view coming down on me. But only does 1 wound.
Trust in the Aegis.
And I did 3 to him. So what tells you I should have just gone in.
Should have gone in.
I should have just gone in. Because he wouldn't have had any buffs. I would have got. Oh, anyway. I did have Glory of Gold and Word of Iron, to be fair, so it did help with the stuff. But yeah, also I killed the Knights of Rhymer as well to thankfully win the objective. And that, my friends, is the end of the game in what was a topsy-turvy, left and right, up and down, yin and yang game. Oh my goodness.
It was.
Yeah, really, really fun game. And like neither of us could believe some of the stuff that was happening. Like his fail of the Swift Stride, Ancient Dragon, then his 11 charge, and the back and forth that was happening was really, really fun. And great game and great guy to play with.
Definitely.
Which meant, thankfully, because of the objective and some decent points in the end, although I didn't get the Ancient Dragon, but yeah, big points to me, and a 17-3 victory for the Warriors. So
really cool.
Very pleased with that. Although again, Helmore didn't really do anything apart from 1 failed chaffing.
Yeah, because the dogs ended up terroring.
Yeah, so arguably a bit wrong there, but everything else was good, and I was really pleased with the game from a team.
Flayers are fearless, aren't they?
Players are, but they're not from core. These are the difference.
True. Yes. Good point.
But yeah, it's a really good game. Enjoy playing Matt, and then it was down to the team. I was obviously quite excited to take my 17-3 back to Paul.
Of course you were.
How did we all get on?
Yeah.
And this was the result. So we got a 13-7. Paul
in the orange
against some ID.
Captain leading the way.
Cluesy got a slightly a high orange score,
objective
low
loss.
Yellow score, objective loss. So that cancelled out. Luke had some bad dice against Empire and got 14-6, but I got 17-3, which means by 1 point, baby, we get the win. Yeah!
Amazing. There you go.
And it was really, really close game between the 2 teams, and we were thankful to get a W. Or I mean, Paul has historically said that quite close games are basically a draw.
Not this
which
one.
changed drastically for this game where we won by a point
Yeah,
or
yeah.
two, I guess.
So you
And
had a
got through.
huge victory in this one, then.
Huge W,
Yeah,
baby.
massive. Hmm.
And yeah, it was good to end the day actually having a win, which is nice,
Mm.
and then a bit of pressure off for the day two. But yeah, really good fun games and a great team to play against.
Mm.
So which ends our day. Oh, I'm tired. I was tired,
Me too.
and
There was some
I
fun
actually
battles.
I actually drove back after this. It was one of the few tournaments I drove
Mm.
back from,
Mm.
which is
Yeah,
interesting.
not too far away.
So yeah, really good fun. And yeah, Helmore wise, like I said, not too great and tactical from that point of view, but that's why I quite like it actually, is because I think even with better Helmore play, I think this list and London Warriors can do even better. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited to see it. But yeah, leave your comments on everything. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your mums. Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. The 9th Age Forum. We're on all the places.
We are.
We're happy to chat, and we are excited to bring you content whenever we can.
And some new content in the near future. Exciting content.
Yeah, not too long now until 3.0
Oh,
season starts, really.
it is. Yeah.
So we are behind the closed doors. We're recording games, and we are trying to get our heads around 3.0 as much as possible. So we will see what that brings, but some exciting stuff to bring you for sure.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Right, on to day 2, round 4, coming up next, folks.
Yep. See you later.